Hey, good morning. It's Edna Keep here live with Free Coaching Friday. Sorry, I'm late today. I got on a phone call and I didn't even realize what time it was. I get off and I'm going, okay, I think it's time for my Free Coaching Friday, and here I'm half an hour past. Anyway, today we're going to talk about what do you do when your money partner backs out on you. So first of all, let's talk about how we might prevent that. So you got a deal under contract. You've started raising capital, you've got somebody who's committed, and what do? So what we do is we have our lawyer draw up a commitment sheet. It has the details of the deal on it, and then we have them sign it and take their money straight to lawyers. You know, you're closing within 3 months at the most. By now it's probably closer to 2 months because you've done your due diligence and started talking to different investors and stuff. But yeah, so that's what we do to start with, is we get the commitment sheet. Usually I send it over to them, explain it to them, and then have them drop the monies direct at the lawyers. If they're from out of town, we have them wire it or do a direct deposit to the lawyer's account. So we send all that. Now, that part alone should probably stop your investor from backing out. You know, it's a commitment up front. They stop thinking about it. They're in. And we have had the odd time where persons change their mind. They either start talking to other people, they get nervous, not sure what to do. I always leave the channels of communication open, and I tell them, you may have questions that come up in the meantime. Feel free to reach out to me and we'll chat through it and stuff. So generally, if somebody gets a little nervous, I can talk them down. It's a big decision up front, for persons putting in 100 grand with you and they're not 100% sure. Sometimes it takes a little while. What I have seen though is where people have not gotten that commitment. They've got a verbal commitment. Yes, I'm in, but there's nothing like a money commitment where the money actually goes to the lawyers. So keep that in mind too. That's probably your biggest form of commitment, if they actually get the money down to the lawyers. If for us nowadays, if it's not there, we're still looking for money, even if they've committed. Sometimes we've had people commit, but it takes them a little while maybe to get their home equity line of credit or sale of something that they're selling or something like that. And that's okay too. Sometimes it takes some time. But if it gets too close to your deadline, either push them to get it done quicker or start looking for somebody else, or be prepared to put some of your own money in for a short period of time. We've done that too. But the one of the biggest things you want to do is, if your money partner changes their mind, don't take it personally. Most of the time it doesn't have anything to do with you. It has to do with what they're going through. Maybe something come up in the meantime. We had one money partner one time who'd committed, had their money at the lawyers, and then had a health issue come up that I think they thought it was over with, and they went in for a checkup and it wasn't over with. So they didn't want to tie up their money just in case this health issue ended up being bigger than they thought. Sometimes if the money's already committed to a deal and we're working through financing, sometimes you can't give it back right away. That's what happened in this case with us. And we just said, what we'll do is we will do everything in our power to find somebody to replace you, but just realize that that's not always easy at this stage in the game. So in that particular case, we were able to replace them, but I think it took us like a month. So they left their money in there until we had it replaced. So that happens too. Sometimes you decide you don't want a money partner. We've done that before. People get too demanding, and they want this and they want that, and they want the better part of the deal. And don't they? I've had different investors say that to me. I always find if they're going to be that demanding up front, oh my gosh, they'll probably be a nightmare to deal with. So be careful about that. I've let people go. I just say, I told one person not too long ago, I'm getting too old. I don't want to deal with, people who are that high strung and everything, or people that are trying to tell me how to run my business. I don't think you're the right fit for this deal. I'll let them go. Sometimes when you let them go, you don't have somebody else to fill their spot yet, so you just got to hang on to the money. Because sometimes when you're doing a deal, the money's already went in. You know, like in this particular case, it was an agreement for sale. The money had already went to the vendor as the deposit, and then we had to replace it after the fact. So those are some things that'll happen to you. But the biggest thing you want to do is don't take it personally. You know, sometimes it's just not a fit. Sometimes they're too nervous and they'll get in on the next deal. Sometimes they feel like they made too fast of a decision and they're not quite ready. Sometimes they find something else comes up. Those are the ones that are hardest to let go of. Something else comes up because you know, they have committed to you, and you know, it's okay for you to say, you know, you're committed. We've already done certain parts of due diligence that cost us money at this point. You know, if you back out on us now, we may not be able to give you 100% of your funds back. It might be a little bit less, you know. So don't make it real easy either if you can help it. You want people who are committed though to the deal, and you don't want them being too nervous, because if they're scared, they may not be ready to be dealing with a real deal yet. Sometimes people would rather just leave their money sitting in GICs and not earning anything, even though their house has done really well and stuff like that. Let me see, I got just a few people on. I'm just going to see if I have any questions. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Barb. Good morning, Walter. Good morning, Kyle. Okay, let me see what time it is. I never even really noticed what time I got on this morning because it was late. I was just anxious to get going. I'll give you another case scenario where we had a challenge with a money partner. Actually, it wasn't a challenge with the money partner. It was a challenge with the deal. We knew the deal was going to take us a while to close. As a matter of fact, it was our first really big deal. It was 144 units. And we needed the commitment from people up front, but we didn't want to be sitting on their whole 100 grand for, you know, however long it took us to finish it. So what we did is we have them do a commitment fee up front. So they did a $15,000 commitment on their $100,000. And you know what? Not one of them backed out in the long run, even though it took us 9 months to finalize the deal. But we did get the $15,000, and we did let them know it was non-refundable too, because you know, we're now digging deep. We're doing due diligence. It's costing us money. We can't be running around looking for investors after the fact too. So that can happen sometimes too. And we've also had at times where we've raised the money for the deal and then decided not to go ahead with the deal. So we just give them all their money back. Sometimes people are a little perturbed, I guess, because we've been sitting on their money maybe for 2 months or something. But, you know, I just explain it this way. I go, you know, we're better off without that deal. This is what we found. We found this. Maybe there's different issues that we had, or the tenant profile wasn't as good as we thought it should be, or we didn't see the value play after a while. You know, so most of the time your investors will appreciate that you did all that due diligence and decided it wasn't as good of a deal as you originally thought. So don't be scared to do that either. It's sometimes hard to give that money back thinking, well, I'll never get it back again. But you know what? You'll get it back again. Maybe not that particular 100,000. Maybe it's you have to wait for them to come up with the second 100,000 or something. But it's still better to not do a bad deal than worry about keeping their money. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully it gave you some good ideas. And just number one, don't take it personally, because you know, you start beating yourself up and then you might not go looking for that next investor. And like I said, most of the time it's nothing to do with you. It's just something that they're going through and has nothing to do with you. So have a really, really good weekend, everyone. And we'll talk to you all Monday for Mindset Monday. Bye for now.